Not sure what the hell you're doing, Nintendo. Okay, I really enjoyed a lot of Nintendo's press conference. I got up at 4 in the morning to watch it, as New Zealand's time isn't as fortunate as, like, North America's. And the whole Muppet thing they had going with Reggie, Miyamoto, and Iwata, I love that so much. That made me laugh a lot. And how they transitioned that into Star Fox, that was a really cool way to introduce it and then show off all the gameplay and stuff like that. And then all the other titles like Xenoblade. Holy shit, that I'm so excited for that game. Yoshi's Epic Yarn or whatever the hell it's called. It looks really cute. I know a few people who are quite excited for that. Star Fox as well. I'm not sure if they should have had a bit less time for Star Fox and maybe shown a bit more of the other games which I know deserved it. Because Star Fox was the main focus. It was a large focus for that E3, that's certain. That and what came across to me and a lot of people at least was like not so much party games but more co-op, more knockoff kind of games like with Zelda, Triforce Warriors and that kind of stuff like Paper Mario and Luigi or whatever it was called. They look like a lot of fun and there was a large amount of them. I mean, for Nintendo, that's probably one of their strongest points of the whole a multiplayer, fun-friendly kind of shebang, if you get what I mean. With Mario and all the gang. Bowser, he's not threatening at all, no way. But they appeal to that market way more than PlayStation and Microsoft will ever in their entire existence do. So investing in that is probably a really good idea. But I know for a fact there were a lot of fans, including myself, who were expecting a different title from Nintendo. Maybe a reveal or something, some teaser of some sort, which was Metroid. We were really hoping for it this year. It's been about 5 years since Other M and 8 years since Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, which I just threw on the floor. Should probably not do that. And, well, I thought that we would get a little more than what we in the end ended up with. Metroid Prime Federation Force. Not sure what you're doing, Nintendo. You've had 5 years of waiting and nothing in the terms of Metroid at all. And then, well, there's a knockoff for you, guys, since you've been waiting for it so long and you've been obviously so excited to see a new Metroid at E3. We'll give you this non-Metroid-like game with Metroid in the title, because I think what fans were really wanting when they mean Metroid was the whole backtracking thing, the whole exploration, the atmosphere, the really good boss battles and stuff like that, like Super Metroid, Metroid Prime, every game except Other M. And, well, spin-offs are fine, to be frankly honest. Metroid Prime Pinball was a really good spin-off. I'll get to that later on. But the fact that we got nothing else and it's been 5 years is quite frustrating. See, when I watched E3, I really thought that it was gonna have the spin-off, because I saw that and I thought, wow, there's activity in the Metroid series. Maybe we'll get something really big and not just a knockoff. But they wouldn't do that after all this waiting and just throw a title on a really small game. Guess what? Because it's been 5 years since Other M and 8 years since Metroid Prime 3, I think I said that, but at least Other M, the last game, was a full-fledged game. It had lots of development and lots of that kind of stuff, even if it was very misguided, and I despise it with all my being. Excuse me. It was still a Metroid game, I guess, if you can call it that. But this is not a Metroid game, so to speak. It's as a few Metroid characters, yeah, sure, but I wouldn't go so far to call it a new Metroid, the new installment, which everyone's been waiting for after 5 years. Because it seems that Nintendo thinks that way since there's been nothing else, and this is all they have to show for it. I have to say Sony handled E3 probably the best this year, which Nintendo could have done, but they, in the past 5 years with Metroid, didn't. With The Last Guardian and Final Fantasy VII, the remake, and stuff like that, they handled it really well. they owned it. They went out, they had a look at what they had and what fans really wanted, and they went, you know what, we can make use of this if we do it right, and we'll display it, and it'll get everyone really excited because these games are what everyone wants. Final Fantasy VII Remake's been overdue so long, and on these consoles, I'm really looking forward to it. And The Last Guardian's been anticipated for so long. Maybe not as long as Final Fantasy VII Remake. Maybe. But it's been cancelled, and everyone knows the story. And everyone thought that game was dead, and surprise, it's back. Which was great. Everyone can't wait for that game. Or anyone who's played Shadow of the Colossus, like me, I'm quite excited. And Nintendo had a similar thing here. They had Metroid, which was, they had a long gap since Other M on the Wii, and there's been no development signs, there's been no updates at all, and everyone was quite excited, everyone was quite looking forward to, hoping that, is this the year where they reveal a new Metroid? Are we going to get a new Metroid this year? I wonder if it's a Metroid Prime. I hope it's what a lot of people were anticipating and hoping for, because it's one of Nintendo's most critically acclaimed series, and just leaving it for 5 years is gonna cause some, at least some tension in a fan base, believe it or not. So we actually get to the knockoff, so to speak, and the gameplay that we've seen, it looks okay. It looks fun with a couple of friends or your little brother, I guess. It looks amusing, I guess, but it's not. It's called Metroid, but it's not Metroid. I recognize some of the characters from the Metroid universe they proclaim in the videos that you get to explore in Metroid Prime Federation Force. But they could remove the Metroid Prime part from that title, and it'd be better, to be honest, because it doesn't. It's not a Metroid Prime in that sense. It's not what fans have been waiting 5 years for, and with no sign of anything else. And we get this, and it's like, no, it's not what fans have been waiting 5 years for. And to get this is almost an insult and salt in the wound from Nintendo, saying, you'll play Metroid when we say you can, and you'll be happy when you do, so enjoy this. Though, knockoffs are fine. I'm not saying they're bad or anything, and Metroid should be totally serious. Zelda's been getting knockoffs like Hyrule Warriors, and they look really good. I have played Hyrule Warriors, and it's a lot of fun. But the spin-offs do work really well. Metroid Prime Pinball is an example, 2005, but the reason they work well is because they're surrounded by the actual games. You can't release a spin-off 5 years down the track with no signs of anything else and expect people to go, oh, it's another Metroid! Thank God, thank the heavens of Reggie and Miyamoto. Oh boy. Because, let's have a look. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, 2004, Metroid Prime Pinball, 2005, and Metroid Prime Hunters, 2006. It was compact with the bigger games. It wasn't out on its own as its own installment, so to speak, or thrown out instead of one. It's questionable, and it does, I guess, resemble Metroid Prime in the Prime universe some way. The soldiers you play as do look a bit like the ones in 2 and 3, and I think there's Azuma from Metroid Prime and the original games, in the style of Metroid Prime, but just having a spin-off and just leaving it there with nothing else doesn't work. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sure what the deal is with party games at the moment. Like I said, it's a worthy investment, but I think the transformation theme they have decided to go with this year is converting everything to a minigame, including Metroid and Zelda. On that note, Zelda did get a minigame spin-off kind of thing. It looks like a lot of fun, and from the gameplay, I'm pretty keen to play it. But everyone knows Zelda U's on the way, even if there was little real Zelda shown at E3 this year. Everyone knows Zelda U is on the way next year, and there's probably a lot more to come next year as well, because the franchise is still being kept up with. I think it's more disappointing than enraging for this situation, because Nintendo is slowly pushing Metroid to that situation like F-Zero is at the moment, where the last game is so far away that it's not even a concern, and the character is nothing more than someone in Smash Bros. The last F-Zero game was GX in 2003 on the GameCube. The last console game. There were 2 Game Boy Advance games, I believe, the next year. But it seems Metroid is nothing short to follow. So, unfortunately, which is pretty sad from the way things look at the moment. I'm not saying it's all doom and gloom, but what the hell, Nintendo? What are you doing? Well, I mean, it could be worse. It could be a sequel to Other M. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I had to get out something for E3 this year. I got up at 4 in the morning to watch. I just had to talk about something, and this is something that really struck me in a lot of the Metroid community, and the dislikes on the teaser video. Holy shit! But this isn't a revamp for the channel. I'm still working on the intro and getting new equipment and stuff like that. It is on the way. I'm not dead yet, so to speak. If you want to see stuff I've been doing, you should head over to my friend Gamerzone TV. I'm doing a Flashback Friday for him over there, and if it's up there, you should watch it. If not, well, stick around, I guess. Flashback Friday on Metroid Prime. Yeah.